Welcome back to the channel. I'm Joe with Finish Line Studio. If you've been following along, you know that the start of 2025 has been a bit slow. We haven't had any client work this year, but I'm very happy to report that I have secured not one, but two client projects. One of them is for a boutique winery in Napa, who's sort of an up and comer. Can't talk too much about that project, but I feel like it's going to be a very, very good one for me. I'm very excited about it. Very excited to work with them. And the second project is for my sister. She has a landscape design business in Sonoma County, and she would like to rebrand. Her current brand is hard to read. It's kind of thin. She does want to be a little more professional and stand out amongst the other landscape design companies in the area. So she was over here. She stayed the weekend, and we watched the Daytona 500 together. And she was saying that she wants to rebrand her business. And I said, let me do it. I want to do it. Her company is called A Bloom Landscape Designs, and she wants a big, bold, design forward design that appeals to a broad audience of anybody that basically needs landscape design consultation. So I'm really excited about helping her out. We're going to hop on Zoom. We're going to talk about her project a little bit more in just a minute here. I'll bring you along and you can design this logo with me. With that, let's get on Zoom and get some more details about this project.
Good morning, brother.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you today?
Okay. Why are you going away from your current logo?
I feel like I've outgrown it.
Hi, sorry to interrupt the video, but if you like this kind of content, please give the video a like and please subscribe to the channel. It would really help me out. I really would like to grow this channel. Thank you very much, and back to the video.
I want a logo that expresses who I am. I'm very community oriented. I love sunflowers. Sunflowers are my favorite, and that's why I initially did that design. A bloom means like continuous growth, and that's word really resonated with me because that's what I feel I embody as like a word that describes me is I feel like I'm continuously growing. So I want something that expresses that. I also feel very drawn to like the things that I typically find myself drawing, like those suns. Like I'm just always drawing those things. I don't know if you can see it. I want me more in it rather than just like a fast little thing that I made up. So yeah, I'm just ready for I'm expanding and it's time that my business also expands, but I want more of like a staple.
Well, I think I have a good idea of what she would like to see. So let's jump into Illustrator and see what we can do. So the first thing that I did, as I do with most every project, is I started to pull together some fonts and look at some typefaces and see if any of them spoke to me and gave me the feeling that this was the brand. I didn't have anything in my Illustrator that was really speaking to me, so I ended up going to Adobe Fonts, which is a great website if you already have the Adobe suite, and you can look through all kinds of different fonts. I found a few that I thought fit pretty well, and I put them in here and I kind of arranged them so I could look at them, and one that I actually already had caught my eye. Then I started to experiment creating this kind of like geometric sunflower Fibonacci sequence design, and my idea was that I would create this sort of like, I don't know, spiritual flower or something like that. I was just really kind of like doodling within Illustrator and experimenting, but none of these really were working for me. So I started messing around with type, which is sort of kind of where I always default to, and I made this kind of nice type design, and then I was like, you know what, maybe I can make this like more trippy. And I didn't like that. So then I was like, oh, I have this tail here. Maybe I could make like a bee, because she had mentioned in a previous conversation, like including some kind of pollinator in the design. So I made this little cute little bee, and then this design ended up being like a little bit too cutesy for me, and I really didn't like it. So it's at this point of the project that imposter syndrome always sets in. I hate the design that I've come up with. I hate that I chose to become a graphic designer. What was I thinking? I'm not a good designer. I don't like myself. I don't like the things I create, and nobody likes my work. Those are all the thoughts that start going to my head at this point in the project. But I've learned to accept that this is what always happens after my first exploration. Imposter syndrome always sets in. I always question all my choices, and I just hate myself for like a day. And then eventually I get a new idea, and then everything works out, and the client loves the work. I love the work. It's just, you got to get the bad designs out first, I think, and then you could get on to the good work. So at this point in the project, I decided to just embrace the imposter syndrome and go back to basics. Stop doing fancy stuff in Illustrator. Grab a pencil, grab a piece of paper, grab a ruler, and try some hand lettering. That's my comfort zone. That's what I like doing. So let's do that and see if we can make a good logo. So it's at this point that I start feeling pretty good about the design. See, I told you if we go back to basics, we will figure something out. I really like this word mark that I was able to create with a paper and pencil and a ruler. And now I'm just kind of throwing in this sunflower that I made with AI. If she ends up liking this design, I will redraw the sunflower by hand. But this is just, this is just a concept, so I'm putting it together. I'm also going to try out putting this little sun design that she actually doodled in as the head of the sunflower. I didn't really like the way that turned out, so I'll stick with the sunflower design. I'm incorporating some of her patterns, and then I had kind of a wild idea to do like this kind of like triangle design based on one of her doodles that she sent me. So I did this kind of upside down triangle, and I had to do a lot of work cleaning up the sunflower to get this to work, but it turned out really cool, and I started to put together a presentation, and I think that Amber is really gonna like this brand. I'm feeling really good about it. I think this design is killer. And I am going to put together a little presentation and let her know that I'm ready to show her her design. So let's hop on Zoom and walk her through this. There you are.
Here I am.
How's it going?
Oh, good. Long day. Need food. How are you?
I'm doing well. I will go slide by slide here. This first slide is just to reiterate what we're doing. The visual themes that kind of came together in the design. I put this your favorite flower, the sunflower, which is growing sort of out of the O to exemplify growth. And then I paired it with this really nice Futura typeface that you actually recommended. So that worked out well. I have an alternate design that goes with this that can be used without any words. And that's this sort of like more spiritual version of the logo design. And then, yeah, I mocked up some business cards. And I was able to use this brand pattern that you came up with, which kind of looks like planted seeds to me. And then this is the brand color palette that I came up with. The main color here is this sort of burnt orange. And then the other contrasting color is that dark brown, which is actually the same as the burnt orange. It's just like 20% darker. And this is the typography that I've used. So the logo type is obviously custom. And then the headlines, you could use Futura, which I think looks really good with the custom type. And then for the body text, I chose this Domine font. And this is actually a Google font. So it's free to use, and you can use it if you use Google, if you use the Google suite. Here's your brand pattern. I just basically took your doodles and digitized it. Also from your doodles, I kind of got the idea for this triangle design, because you did have a lot of like triangles with lines coming out of the top. So I kind of just like flipped that upside down and made that. And so this is, and you had like a sun design too with sun rays. So I kind of, this is one is inspired by all your doodles, kind of like all in one thing here.
My doodles. I like it. I really like how the L and the O and the two O's look like a smiley face.
Oh, is that, I didn't even notice that. That was
Yeah, I feel like it looks like a
unintentional, but it does.
and I
Yeah.
love smiley faces.
Yeah, it's a happy brand. Well, it seems like she's really happy with the way that this design turned out. I'm really happy with it as well. I think it's really cool, and I am out of time for this video. So thank you so much for watching. And what I'm going to do now is going to do a round of revisions with her. We'll change anything that she wants to adjust. I'm going to redraw by hand that AI sunflower, just so that it's an original creation. I mean, AI's original creation, but I want it to be all hand drawn. So I'm going to do that once we kind of get around to the finalization stage, and maybe I'll make another video about that process. But for now, I'm really happy with the design. Thank you so much for watching this. Like and subscribe the video if you've made it this far, please. It really helps out the channel, and I will see you on the next one.